Income eligibility. We can prepare the tax returns for households with 4 or fewer members if their annual household income is $55,000 or less. For households with more than 4 members, we add $5,000 for each additional member. So let me ask you a question. If a family of 7 enters the tax center and their yearly income is $68,423, are they eligible for our services? I'll give you a second to think about it. So here's the question again. Can we prepare a tax return for a household of 7 who made $68,423? The answer is yes, we will prepare their taxes. A household of 7 can make up to $70,000 and we'll still prepare the tax return for them. The community tax centers will waive the income limit for the following taxpayers: current and retired military personnel who show a military ID, residents of a foundation community's property, staff of tax site hosts who show proof of employment, volunteers of the community tax centers, and foundation community staff who show proof of employment. Each tax center will have a copy of the income and exception guidelines for you to reference or review with a client if questions arise. So here's another question for you. If a household of 4 earning $57,000 needs their taxes prepared, can we prepare them? Unfortunately, we would not be able to prepare their tax return. But what if the taxpayer is a volunteer with the community tax centers? Could we prepare their taxes then? Yes, the household is exempt from our income limits and we will prepare their tax return. If you encounter a client who doesn't qualify for our services because they are over the income limit, you can refer them to 2 places. First, refer the taxpayer to our website, www.communitytaxcenters.org, where we have placed a link to tax software that is easy to use and either free or low cost, depending on the household income. If someone needs in-person assistance but is over our income guidelines, you can refer them to AARP. You can find AARP flyers at the tax center or on the volunteer resource page, www.ctcresources.com. So now that we have discussed our income eligibility, let's talk about how to complete an intake interview to determine the client's income. During the income portion of the intake interview, ask the taxpayer to hand you all income documents. Income documents may include W-2s or 1099 reflecting interest, retirement payments, or Social Security payments. You may also be handed forms reflecting any unemployment or self-employment income. Once you have all income documents, separate them by year and person. Now it's time to add up the household income. For security purposes, we ask that you do not use your personal cell phone as a calculator. Each client liaison will have access to office supplies, including a calculator at each workstation. Using the income documents, add up all of the income for the taxpayer and spouse, making sure that the income for each year is being added up separately. Never combine income from different years, even if a taxpayer is in need of tax preparation for multiple tax returns. Also, do not include any income that was paid to a dependent. If a taxpayer's spouse receives Social Security payments, a Form SSA 1099 will be presented. If the Social Security payments, in addition to all other income, place the household over the income eligibility, see your tax center manager. The manager can help you determine the taxable portion of the Social Security benefits. Because Social Security payments are often not taxed, they may or may not place the household outside the income eligibility. Once you have added up the household income and determined that it is within the community tax center's income eligibility, you may continue with the intake interview.